Okay, next question. Anthony, I'm going to get my blood work done in a private medical centre next week. What are the specific markers you think I should look for in the results? Given that I'm a cyclist, I train about 15 to 17 hours per week. I'm 34.
Whoa, he's doing a lot of training.
Yeah.
Get ready for misinformation corner. Yeah, look, I'm not a doctor.
I know it's funny. It's hard, isn't it, when people write in with questions like this, because you're like, wow, this is very technical and medical. But
Look,
there are some things that...
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, there's definitely some things you can look out for. I'm struggling because on the one hand, I want to believe how amazing our professionals are, our doctors are, but on the other hand, you see so many people just getting such bad advice, or especially athletes going to doctors and doctors optimizing for normal ranges. The problem is normal builds in Joe Gamer, who's 155 kilograms and eats Doritos 6 times a day. So it brings the whole average down, and we're getting fatter and unhealthier as a population. Yeah. So if you can afford to get to specialists, sports clinics to get these interpreted, that's the best way to do it. There's some key stuff that I've always looked for, whether I've chatted with sports physiologists, biologists, or doctors through the years, that I think pertain to endurance athletes. And some of the stuff that you see typically going wrong. I think ferritin is an interesting one. You want to be in that 50 to 150 range. You'll see athletes that'll say, get a test and I'd be like 20, and the doctor will say, well, that's fine. It's actually quite low. Iron's critical for oxygen transport, and low ferritin can lead to fatigue, decreased performance, and overall just impaired endurance.
Yeah, it's so common. Low iron is really common, and if you get yourself into a situation where your iron is extremely low, it's actually very difficult to pull yourself out of that while you're training, and it will have a very detrimental effect on your season. So it's something that you need to be pretty aware of.
You need to request to get it tested as well, because not everyone is going to test it. The next one I think is vitamin D. More and more research is coming out around vitamin D, and that ideal range of 40 to 60 ng/ml seems to be where it's at. Vitamin D, it's for bone health, muscle function, and recovery. If you're riding that kind of 15 to 17 hours a week, you're at risk of deficiencies, especially in winter when sunlight exposure is limited. So adequate vitamin D levels are going to help prevent injuries, boost muscle strength, aid recovery, and ensure the body can handle the demands of training. I'm on a heavy enough supplement dose of vitamin D of my blood works. The third one, and this isn't an exhaustive list, the third one's cortisol. And cortisol can be an interesting measurement to have from the morning time and the evening time. I'm getting my bloods, if anyone's listening in Ireland, on a place called Randox, which I've found pretty decent, given a comprehensive blood work. Your morning cortisol level, you're looking for 10 to 20. What's like that weird looking UG, DL is the measurement. And then in the evening, it's 2 to 5. So cortisol is the stress hormone. Did you do a podcast on cortisol?
Yeah, I have. If I find it, it's gone back a while, and I can put it in.
Yeah, try link it. Elevated or sustained high levels from overtraining can lead to fatigue, poor recovery, weakened immune system. So monitoring cortisol, it helps you to understand how well your body's coping with the intensity of your training, and if you need to pull back that training level a little bit.
Well, that's it, because your body looks at cortisol. You could be getting it from training stress or stress because you're fighting with your missus. Your body actually doesn't really understand, the differences a lot of times. It's quite complicated. That's when your sympathetic nervous system kind of comes into play. But it can also have a huge impact on weight, Retention, yeah. It has so many knock-on effects to every single part of the human body. So the cortisol one is definitely one to check out.
Okay, Roman, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rider Support. Appreciate you tuning in, but I think there's another podcast you will enjoy, and I'm going to link it up here. Please take a second to subscribe to the channel and share this into your club WhatsApp group if you found any of it helpful, or mention it to a friend. See you next week. Hey everybody, let's take a quick break to talk about the bike I'll be riding this season, Reap. I've been lucky enough to ride all the top brands in the world over the past few years, but these Reap bikes, they're not the same, and I'll tell you why. Reap is the first company I've seen that isn't chasing sales targets and the mass market. They're chasing something very rare: perfection. Every bike they make, it's crafted in the UK factory, and it's not about slapping a Made in Britain label on a bike from a Chinese factory. It's about control. From the first sketch to the final build, they're hands-on, ensuring that every detail is dialed in. That's very rare in an outsourced world of mass production. What sets them apart is innovation. While others pump out the same old designs, Reap's pushing boundaries. They're not following trends, they're setting trends. Think precision and performance, like an F1 car for the road. Absolutely no compromises. And it shows, and you can feel it when you ride the bikes. These bikes are built for riders who demand the best, whether they're chasing podiums or just want a machine that feels like an extension of your body, a piece of art. It's not hype, it's substance. Ride a Reap for yourself and you're riding something crafted with intent. So if you're serious about cycling, check them out. It's reapbikes.com. I absolutely love my one and I couldn't recommend it highly enough. Back to the show.